Welcome. How you doing, Calvin?
Pretty good.
How's your
Pretty
Wednesday doing?
uh Lazy, but gonna get to work. It sounded like you were pretty busy though.
Yes. It's like I love it when people just set lunchtime meetings that come out of the blue. So they're not even on your calendar. They just ping you on Slack, and all of a sudden they're just
Yeah.
doing their thing. So yeah, I am working right now.
Okay, I won't lie. So a new character came on in Street Fighter, and this morning I was like, let's just hop on and play the new
Oh
character. So
no,
that's the wonders of not having a schedule.
responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like
It's like being a
responsible.
kid again.
Yeah, responsibilities to yourself is difficult. But
Yeah.
also the fucking best part of being indie in general. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, the amount of times my buddy goes and texts me and says, "Hey, I'm at the driving range. Do you want to meet up?" And I'm like, like yes, a couple of years ago,
Right.
absolutely I
Right.
could. Now I can't at all. I absolutely want to bunk off in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, I do get a bit of time freedom, and I feel bad. I felt a little bad because the Game Pass I was gifted, I wasn't really using it that much, and it was only 3 months, so it might expire. So I was like, okay, I
Yeah, you
really
got
should
to take
actually.
advantage of it while you have
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So I ended up playing some games, and we're just gonna do like kind of a rapid fire roundup of the games we've been playing, and also the games we've been
Yeah. Calvin,
that are
you've
on
been
the
playing
horizon.
you've been playing games?
That's right. Yeah,
Seriously?
I actually finished one.
Wait,
I
what?
actually finished one.
Oh,
I'm gonna
crazy.
start off with it. I'm gonna share my screen.
I'm looking forward to it. I,
So,
I should get the fucking Game Pass, but I don't know. I'm gonna
oh
be
man, you
I'm gonna be stuck on the Nintendo for a hot minute now.
yeah.
All right, I gotta click watch
So
stream.
the first game is a game. This game I think I beat in 2 or 3 hours. So it's definitely a shorter game. But this is an indie game that's come out for a couple of years now. It's called Unpacking. It's been highly recommended to me, and I'm sure a lot of indie people have recommended. But it's what you see is what you get. You get a bunch of boxes,
Oh,
and you're just unpacking and placing them in generally the right area. But I
generally
will
the
also,
right area? Do you
yeah,
do
it
you
doesn't
get
have to be perfect. You
do you
get
get
some
some
creative
choice?
freedom. Yeah, but you can't like put the toaster in the bathroom
Okay, so
or
you're
the
kind of
outlet.
like designing your own space at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But the key interesting point, because I'm going to tie all these back to game design, is I have not seen a storytelling game like this. I believe Gone Home is something similar,
Hmm.
where in Gone Home you just see like residual things that happened in the story. And this is the same. You're unpacking boxes, and you're like, "Oh, what happened to this item?" And you also like move in with your boyfriend, and then you also some spoiler.
Uh,
You kind of see a story unfold just through the items that you're bringing back and forth between places. And I thought
yeah.
very unique and surprisingly engaging. I usually don't like this kind of like narrative indie stuff. I'm like, it's not for me. But I thought this was engaging.
No, I like it a lot. Items that we have in our possession tell a story, and this is a very simple way to narrow into one big thing, transitions. Transitions is something like humans like love to write stories about, but rarely do we show the journey between places. We rarely do we show like the moments after, right? The slowdown of when everything kind of has to kind of reassemble our puzzle piece of life and put it back together again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, and
well,
I think it was really unusual to feel sentiment about certain things that you're carrying around, like these chickens that are innocent or
okay,
stuff.
so they would
It
always
was
be there, and sometimes you would just lose them as you
yeah,
transition to
yeah,
next
yeah, stuff
places.
like that. It was pretty clever, very clever.
Nice, hell yeah, that's really smart. You know what I mean? Because we always think that we have to have like a lot of stuff, but this drills down into that like great space of one singular mechanic that we can reuse over and over and over again and just kind of build content around it rather than focusing on system to subsystem to subsystem to subsystem.
Yeah,
Just having a point and getting it across, right? Um,
absolutely.
and I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Worth a
that's what
play?
indies. What's that?
Worth a play?
Yes, only because it's so short, like 2 hours. maybe 3.
Okay. Unpacking.
Yeah.
Have to give it a go.
I'll talk about the next thing. So I'll talk about Street Fighter, and really, it's not necessarily Street Fighter. I'll just talk about it while this trailer plays in the background.
Okay.
You got this new character. She looks wild, by the way, just visually.
I'm gonna do it full screen.
Yeah. I mean, look at that hair. But she's a poison character.
Okay.
Genuinely insane. But I will. What I really want to talk about is that Mortal Kombat came out.
I love
Mortal
the
Kombat
nails.
came out. Was that?
I love the
Oh,
nails.
shit. Yeah. Actually, we'll watch it.
Yeah, let's finish it off.
Yeah. Just very visually unique, as you can generally tell. Like Voldo from Soul Calibur, the freaky dude. I gave her a spin, and she is very fun, and I do want to play her, but man, I need to get back to work.
Yeah, 5 minutes, dude. 5 minutes. It's alright. Play 5 minutes. Ooh, that's nice. Slither like a snake.
Slither? I mean, I don't.
Oh, I hate that. Oh.
Obviously.
Oh my god, I hate that. In a bubble. So it's interesting that you look at the trailers, right? Are we gonna watch a Mortal Kombat one at all?
No, I only want to briefly talk about it, but yeah. I wish
How long's left? Are we gonna miss anything? A couple of minutes, alright.
Like, what do you mean?
It just feels slow. I feel like,
okay.
You know what I mean? I guess if I looked at this and then I thought about champion spotlights from League of Legends, right? I would think that this doesn't explain anything to me.
Yeah.
Like, nothing on here tells me what the fight combination move, so it's just like, oh, I guess you would probably know. Like, oh, is this an up B or whatever this is?
Right.
But I don't get excited because I don't see a lot of combos straight out the bat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that they could do better by teaching me a little bit more, like weaving the personality a little bit more into the thing. Seems cool, but it just seems like a lot of like this. The way this trailer is put together is just like a lot of pieces that don't tell the story of the character.
And certainly there are different trailers. Like this one is the story of the character.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that is a gameplay trailer for the people that already are looking for that.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess the main thing I wanted to note was that Mortal Kombat came out, and it's actually getting pretty low reviews, even by the casuals, and that's really surprising because Mortal Kombat has always been the best-selling fighting game, and so far I only have the Steam numbers on hand, but like it's doing surprisingly poorly.
Really?
And yeah, I was really surprised.
Damn, I kind of liked how the story mode was going. Did you think that that's just because Street Fighter is really just that banging this year? Like they've really put it all together?
6 is very different. Yeah, they did a lot of effort to make it appeal more to casuals and have more gameplay.
Yeah.
And it seems like with Mortal Kombat, once the story's done, you're pretty much done with the game. You just have to hop online. There's no other modes.
There's just nothing else.
Yeah, Street Fighter had the whole open world stuff and other things. Yeah, very big difference, and I just thought it was pretty interesting. Basically, with the release of Aki, Street Fighter has now, of course, shot up in interest, and then Mortal Kombat is just on its descent. So.
Yeah. Well, they got to slow burn it, I guess. You know what I mean? So, do you know if Capcom is doing anything for the scene? They putting up prize pools for the new game.
Oh yeah. No, they do. You're absolutely right. They have this whole tournament system. They really feed into the esports. Mortal Kombat is not doing any of that so far, and I don't think they will be. They haven't really done it in the past.
All right. Well, good luck to them. You know what I mean? Because that's a tough one. You're just getting beat in market completely and utterly. So
yeah. I like Mortal Kombat. I hope they figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
Last game I played on Game Pass, or worth noting. No, not the last game, but Dune. I saw Dune. I've played Dune 1 and Dune 2, great classic games. I had very low expectations for this game.
It
Um,
could have been a bloodless Arrakis.
I thought it was just an RTS,
Hand of mighty
and
Yeah.
most RTS games are the same.
workforce.
But I'll let this play
Whole
out.
House Atreides were fighting for the whole Imperium. A brilliant society. Gracefully withstanding the red wings.
What I was surprised about this game is that it's RTS plus 4X and woven in a way that I haven't seen before. It's almost like Civilization.
Okay.
Look at all these giant menus of diplomacy and stock trading and everything. So while you're getting attacked on one end, there might be like a vote in the council to juggle some other edicts. So it's a very overwhelming game. There's a lot to do and a lot to learn, and I was really impressed with the innovation in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it feels. Wow, isn't Civ kind of just like that, or is this? It's
Yeah.
real time, or is it?
If it is real time, you can pause, but I will say the thing that about 4X games is that in 4X games, there are more ways to win than just blowing them up. Because like in StarCraft, you just gotta take over the base. But here,
Yeah.
it's like if you're losing with your on the army front, you can maybe assassinate the enemy commander. So that's basically what the 4X stuff offers. Many avenues to win, and
Okay.
I've never quite seen this on an RTS like to this degree.
Or at least to that depth.
Yeah, Off-World Trading Company is a similar game, but I mean, Dune is.
Is there actual turns?
No, it's pure RTS.
There's no turns. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's the big thing for me. I mean, there's something obviously you get out of the one more turn feeling, and you're constantly trying to wait for something else to get done. But turns just turn into time in the end of the day anyway. So if it's kind of fluidly battling, and there's always just things to come up with, and it's one of those like we need you over here, we need you over here.
Yeah.
So handling that is huge.
That's a good point about turn-based, because in a turn-based game you can have a lot of complexity because nothing's happening. You can take your time, but this game can get overwhelming if you're not using the pause button, like if you're playing multiplayer. So yeah, it's interesting to try to find the middle ground.
How much is this? Or is this out now?
It's on
No?
Game Pass.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't mind giving that a go. I'm not.
Yeah.
Were you into Dune all that much? The movie, stuff like that. The movie,
I
the
like
book.
the movie is all right. I haven't read the book. How about you?
I haven't read the book, obviously, because I'm a fucking
Okay.
blithering
I,
idiot.
pl-
But
I played the previous games and I loved them. So
just people really like this franchise. I only watched the
Mhm.
movie for the first time this year, the original movie, and I haven't watched the newest one. I probably won't for a while, but it gripped me, but it didn't grip me at the same time too. But I love the premise of all of this with all of the different factions. There's only the 3 factions, then it's going to be like feels
You know
a
what?
little limited because
you made a good point. So this game has 6 factions, and in a RTS, when you have factions, usually, I mean, they're usually unique, but they play
play differently.
roughly similar.
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
Well,
But in a 4X game, they can play vastly different.
yeah.
And I will say the 6 factions in this game seem to play almost completely different strategies.
Okay.
That's very cool. By the way, trivia. What do you know what the first RTS game was? Like ever?
Oh shit! The very, very first one.
Yeah, the very
ever.
first one.
Oh, I want to say. I'm gonna be wrong. But I'm just gonna say Diablo 1 because it started.
No, I'm sorry. RTS strategy.
Oh, okay. Like actual. Alright.
Yeah, with units and stuff.
It's not.
okay,
It's not Command and Conquer, but
No.
no, it's not. Which one is it?
It's Dune 2, actually.
Dune 2.
Dune 2 was the very first RTS. It was like 1993. I remember playing it on Genesis, And I was like, what is this? This is the greatest thing ever. It's the first RTS I ever tried.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Mm.
Well,
All right. But speaking of sand, I'll pass it over to you.
yeah, I don't know. Just we were looking at trailers, and this, was one of these new games that was kind of coming up. But in the same way of Dune, sand is a lot of Dune. So I was just like, let's link these two together. Also, actually, before you start playing this, I guess,
Hmm.
what did you, looking at that trailer, did anything grip you in that trailer? Like, what's the most
Oh,
grip?
the
Yeah, what's
analysis.
the most grippy thing in this trailer for you?
The
Like,
thing that would, yeah. So like a lot of trailers, you establish the genre
as soon
first.
as I
Like
saw
just
this, I was like,
yeah.
I'm kind of out. And then this felt very similar to, Civ, but I didn't catch the whole like real time. It still felt very turn based at this point to me.
Oh, I see. For me, so the trailer establishes the genre early. So I when I saw it, I saw RTS, and I was turned off because I don't. I think most RTS are the same. But as soon as I see this panel right here or wherever it shows up, next one,
The next one, this one.
where is it? Well, as soon as I saw this, that's when I got interested. I was like, oh, there might be more depth to this game than just pure building units. Oh, like a tech tree. So that's what interested me.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
It tries. That's what I like. That like there was some nice models inside of this thing that I was like, okay, the color palette's great. The greens
Mhm.
on the full orange like pop because I mean, it could feel
Yeah.
super weird, right? Like it's all the same color. It's like
Yeah.
how do I make new and defining maps when everything is the same color? So you have to base your entire color palette off of like contrasting to that color, and
Yeah.
they did a great job of it, to be honest.
Now, were you a StarCraft fan?
Yeah, huge. I almost dropped out
Okay.
of college for StarCraft 2.
Oh my god.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
I'd do the
So
same thing. Wake up in the morning. It's just like, I got 30 minutes. I could ladder. And then all of a sudden I
yeah.
miss my first class, and I'm just like halfway through the day. It's just I just won't go to class today. It's okay.
So to appeal to like the RTS gamer in you, you think you needed like more action and more units or something?
Gameplay just feels kind of slow. Nobody has shown me like a box move. Nothing has really shown me that this is like not at the end of a turn. Everything is moving.
Mm.
Um, So if I wanted a little bit more RTS, like I want to feel a little bit more fast paciness,
Yeah.
And I also want to feel a little bit more scale to the battle. I don't know, like I don't know why the scale feels kind of like off. I want to feel like that there's like 10,000 troops rather than like 10 troops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Um,
totally see what you mean.
but I could get into it. Just obviously, just seems like a lot. So I'm with yous, which is just like these kinds of games take a decent amount of time just to play one of them and to get into them just feel like it's not worth your time sometimes.
Yeah. I like with the animation, XCOM is a turn-based game, but
Yeah.
in the trailers you probably see a lot of people running around, a lot of people shooting. So I could see why you were thinking that.
Yeah, like the slowdown moments in it in the XCOM trailers are always when they have to go like click and do the selection.
Yeah.
But that's
Exactly.
okay. Look, I mean, I wish them the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that gamer is out there. That gamer is not necessarily me unless I'm playing with a bunch of friends,
Yeah.
I love playing Civ with friends. Like that's a lot of fun.
I commend the studio a lot for innovating on a stale genre.
I agree.
I can't stress that enough. It's very
I
nice.
agree. A difficult one to convert users these days because I think it's been too stale for too long.
Yeah.
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 All right.
There's sand.
Tiny build. Tell me the name of your studio before the name of your game.
And I know most gamers tend to not like cinematic trailers, but I mean these are the ones that have the broadest appeal.
This is also it's a reveal trailer. It's supposed to be the first show of your thing,
Yeah.
Sea reindeer.
What were your impressions of this trailer?
I'm hoping that there is going to be a deep story connection. But I think the thing is you're going to be traversing different landscapes, obviously. This is the impression that I get of the game, right? We'll go from there. I'm hoping
Uh,
there's going to be some deep storylines. I've no idea if we're going to be following these people, but we're just going to be traversing the desert, going from place to place. Probably a resource collector, because this thing looks kind of rusty, so it might break down, and we got to go get more fuel for it and do other things. There's probably some pirateering going on out there in the deep sand as well too. I'm curious of like what's obviously happened to this world that's gone on, but the the writing feels weird. Like the way he goes and says, "I will order a lot of meat and beer." It's like, I don't know, maybe is that like lost in translation, or is that like, I mean, who have you ever heard to just say meat and beer, rather than being like something specific, you know what I mean? At least the other guy goes and says sea reindeer. It's like a little bit more specific. But then you're like, what the fuck is sea reindeer? And the big thing I noticed as well too is like these smokestacks coming off the top look like they were like burning coal or something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I was like curious, like what's the fuel source that's going on in this land, this land of
Yeah.
lands.
Yeah, I mean the plot twist is great because you think they're on a boat at first, and then turns out to be sand. But yeah, of course, I mean you don't really get much more information than that. You're just making guess as to what the gameplay might be from there.
Yeah. Do you like the
But
mechanic that the mechanism that they're on? Does that appeal to
yeah,
you?
yeah, it's
Does it?
unique. It's unique. Uh,
I mean, that just
and
feels like Wild Wild West to me. Like I just go
right.
wicked wild. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I look at it and I'm like, okay, but for me, it's like yes, it's a reveal trailer, but like a little more,
yeah.
like a little more, right?
So like with this level of trailer, from a scale of 1 to 10, like how much does this interest you? Just based on what you see here.
It doesn't really. It's a 2. It
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say
it's a
three.
it's just a video. If this was from an animator on their own like Instagram or YouTube page or something like that, and was like, hey, here's this animation short that I made, and it's like the start of a story, and it's a lot like James Joyce short stories. So all of a sudden it's the first chapter, the first chapter, the first paragraph or whatever, and that sets the scene, sets the premise. But that would grip me more than what this is, because like I don't get a game out of this.
Right.
I have more questions of just like, I guess I'll wait for the next one. But it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like, I guess, a reveal trailer. It's supposed to put something on your radar that something is coming.
Yeah, if it's like an intriguing concept, that's all it's there for. Like Starfield, when people give an elevator pitch to me, the most effective elevator pitch is not open world space. Uh, I've heard one where I was like, oh, you get to play like Han Solo, just a freeform bounty hunter. I was like, oh hell yeah! Like
Yeah.
that's the equivalent of a reveal trailer. It does get you interested.
Mm-hmm. I'd like a little bit more tragedy. So I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it feels like it's almost like
Too happy?
too
Oh,
happy for me to grab me and say like, all right, well, like, what's going on? Like put the town in the background. Is the town in the background at the very end?
no, there's not. Oh wait, yeah,
I mean, it's
there's
not
two.
enough. So if you could, I guess if you could just show me a little more like I think Fallout or Bethesda would put, yeah, like this, right? Like they want the signpost that says this thing is that way, and it looks intriguing and it shows you that, hey, there's a bigger world that you're going to here with the flip over pamphlet. But I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't get it, so it doesn't make it big, make it wild or something. I don't know.
Well, the trailer got almost 500,000 views, so
Oh yeah, but
apparently,
it's on IGN, so good for them. Like again,
hey, Wild Wild West, just like what
there
you
you
said.
go.
Hey, they should have just put Will Smith on this boat, and then it would have
Yeah, for real. All right, whatever. But again, I just more. Need more. Need more.
Mm-hmm.
Need more. Don't want more though. Don't feel like I want more, but will need more.
Sure. Yeah. Another game. Actually, the last game I'll talk about that I did play was Payday 3.
Yeah, let's talk
Well,
about Payday 3 because Payday 3 just
yeah.
came out.
Okay, so I want to start with the controversy. So Payday 3 is an always online game, meaning even if you're playing single player, you must be connected and you must hit their servers. Even though you get and if for the people that don't know, Payday is a heist, 4-player heist game, and it's honestly one of the very few that are out there.
Yep.
So on launch day, especially because the game is on Game Pass, there were tons of people playing. It took 5 to 10 minutes to even matchmake. If you were lucky, half the time you got matchmaking error. So you would need to retry. So the issue was that even when you were just playing solo or just trying to play with one person next to you, you had to wait 10 minutes. It was awful. I actually haven't played it since the first night.
Sometimes it is better to not play games on launch day. But
Yeah.
it just sounds like the El Clasico problem when you put something online that's doesn't necessarily always need to be online, right? But, you know, if you want to be making on-the-fly patch updates and shit, you need it to be online, so it's like one of those things. But if you have too many players and you're not expecting that many players, and then your load balancers are not set correctly, and all of a sudden everybody is trying to matchmake and call server at the same time, then you get stuck in the queue, and you have that internal like timeout, which is usually about 5 minutes, 3 to 5
Yeah.
minutes. It's like, oh, if you haven't found a match by now, timeout. It's like, well, great. If you're in the queue for the queue, and then that's longer than everything else, and you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
But that just sucks because it just ruins everybody's day. There's not much you can really do about it other than
They got review bombed on Steam. I'm sure it's more positive now, but it was all negative.
I mean, it's just disappointing.
Yeah.
They've built up their reputation so well. This studio, from Payday 1,
Absolutely.
all the content updates, Payday 2, all the content updates, the big Easter eggs that they've done. There's a absolute dedicated audience to this game. So let's just jump into the trailer real quick then.
Do it. I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah.
But we got the Joker shot.
Well, so yes, but pause. What bank robber is doing this in
I know,
right? What bank robber is in broad daylight holding the mask that they're gonna wear with the backpack with all the security cameras that are out around in the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie Heat?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
no.
okay.
I know of it. Al
Yeah.
Pacino's in it, right?
Yeah.
But I have
Payday was
not.
based off of Heat, basically.
Okay, I want to watch it, but I haven't. It's on the list.
I recently rewatched the main part where they do a bank heist, and all the robbers are wearing blue latex gloves in broad daylight. It's
That's great.
Nobody's suspicious about these people.
No one's suspicious.
Yeah.
I guess you could get away with the blue latex gloves. I could let that go, but keep going anyway.
Yeah, no, but there's the same shot as Joker, and Joker Man is just too from the Dark Knight.
Hey, there's security cameras in all of these places.
Yeah.
You're inside of the bank looking at the security guard with the mask
big-ass
in your
bag.
hand.
With the bag.
Yeah. And then all your buddies.
Blue gloves. Here we go.
All your buddies.
That's funny. That shot.
Yeah. So this is what I didn't like. Did you notice that?
What part? No, I didn't.
So go. Well, we can keep running through, I guess. All right. So watch the animation on the choke.
That one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch the animation on the choke. Obviously,
Yeah.
look, it's always going to be the same, but I don't agree with highlighting that it's always going to be the same because it's here it is, okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, I see.
And then he picks them up, puts them on his shoulder, and a transition shakes because they have the wipe. But there it is again.
Mm-hmm.
There it is again. So it's like I don't like the idea if in your trailer highlighting that you use the same animation over and over again. They're highlighting the same moment way too much. And it's
Right.
like, I get it. You're going to be doing this in a lot of different places. But at the same time, like, don't show me the same animation 3 times within 7 seconds and it's the only thing I see in between the sequence. Like, just build it into the one, right? So, like, grab the first guy, then wipe the scene in the background, change it to some other place, change it to some other guy, then put the guy on the shoulder. It's all one action, and I'm only seeing it one time, rather than seeing it like multiple times.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can understand why they did it because this game really only has one new thing, and that's it.
okay.
It only has one new mechanic, and that's the ability to hold people as a shield.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but I can also understand that, like, hey, check out this one new feature we have,
All right.
because all this is just Payday.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing else really new.
So I guess this part it lost me because I was like, what part of this was a heist game now?
Yeah.
This is I'm playing Call of Duty, right? Like
Yeah.
now I'm
yeah.
playing Battlefield. Like I'm not doing a heist game anymore.
That is interesting. Very different. There's no transition necessarily.
No.
So I think they're making a lot of assumptions that people know how Payday normally plays. But yeah, it would be maybe better if they showed like the alarms getting tripped and then increasing amount of cops coming
I guess
or
like
something.
yeah, and I guess they probably did this in the for the sake of pace. And then it's gonna be like it's gonna be crazy. Look, you go in, you start it off, and it's slower, and then all of a sudden it's ramped to chaos at the end.
Yeah.
And it's trying to get you that feeling of chaos, like hey, yeah, you can be slippery, but then at the end it's gonna be nuts. And to be fair, that does go with the pace of the game, right? Like every single level kind of ends up feeling like that in the end, especially when when the cops do come out, and they do come out at the very end.
Yeah.
Almost all the time whenever you're trying to get the bags out, and it is a bit of a thing. But it felt like it sat on shooting with not a whole big emphasis of like, let's get the fuck out of here, you know what I mean, type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like instantly now I'm like, this could be the whole second half of this trailer could be a completely different game. I'm just playing every FPS game right now.
Yeah, and while we keep talking, I'll just play the gameplay trailer. Maybe it's a little different. Oh no, the gameplay trailer is almost the same.
Yeah.
This shows a bit more about how the game actually plays. It's definitely not run and gun all the time.
No.
Showing off your favorite move there, the choke and the
Yeah, but it only
carry.
did it once though, and see that's the
Yeah.
thing at least.
Yeah.
Nice. Kicking people off the thing.
I didn't even know you could kick in this game. There you go. Call of Duty time.
I mean, yeah, play into it. You got the slide now and everything as well too. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you had that in the last game actually, to be fair, but
I don't think they did.
I didn't think so either.
All right. Any last thoughts on this game?
Other than I wish them the best of luck of being able to pull it back, and they should be able to. There's no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I really like the Payday franchise, so I think that
Same.
yeah,
Um,
I do wish there was a little more. If there's only one mechanic new, then
Yeah. It's all different missions. The missions are mostly the same though, as well.
Yeah. But it's such a
Yeah,
good fun thing to be able to play with your friends if you can find some different ways to if there are some genuine different ways to play. If there are real interesting choices within the gameplay, then awesome.
there is. Yeah,
If I,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because a lot of the times people set out to make games like this, and there ends up only being really like one to two solutions to the whole problem, and it's like that's kind of boring, right? Don't sell me on a premise of loads of 1,000 different ways to play when there's really just not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Payday levels design really has mastered this. A lot of different ways to play, and they also have rogue like randomness, so that you're not always doing the same thing every time. So I think it's
Okay,
pretty.
well, that's sweet. And then there's the loadouts, and all the loadouts are all different.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly. So you can play it pretty differently, and yeah, like you said, I agree. I like the studio. They are getting big, and we're just in this world now where when you have a big studio, like once they start getting there, ooh, it starts to get scary that they lose
things,
their way.
yeah, absolutely, things get scary. Absolutely.
All right. So we
All right.
had this one queued up.
So this was Marathon official announcement by Bungie, which is their newest project. And I was just, I don't know, enticed but confused.
So I never played Marathon. I only heard tales of it. What makes it different than other shooters?
Wait, you played this already?
No, no. Marathon was like the original Bungie game or something like that before Halo.
Ah,
I don't know fully know the lore behind it.
yeah, I don't know the lore either. I had no idea. If they have a whole other thing, yeah, that they're building on top of, and it is, then dope. I just looked at this and I was like, okay, feels just like a battle royale in the end.
Mm.
Like we're trying to kill Apex or something like that. But
Those are battle royale colors, the pink helmet and all those.
generic character. That's what I got out of this. Like digital world, so that we can put funny things in there. Super genericism, so we can just like sell more customization and yeah, like here's your battle royale world.
Mm. Well, let's look at the original real quick.
Oh, Frankie or Jack Frags. He's got all of the videos already.
Okay, yeah, this is Marathon.
Sick. Look at this.
Don't know
This
too
is,
much about the
this is
game.
definitely on the Doom engine.
Oh, let's see, what are you fighting, aliens? No, looks like other wacky people.
Other wacky, yeah.
Cool. So how's the Bungie name to you? Like, what does that evoke?
Halo.
Okay, so it's
Oh,
still a popular name for you.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell you probably a different game that Bungie's even made that's not
Yeah,
in the Halo franchise. Obviously Destiny, but
yeah.
it's at the same time like if they have done anything within this era or anything like that, I don't know if I could fully like bring it to light within my own mind.
Okay.
Um,
Because like
I
just
mean, this
as
is System
contrast,
Shock. It
yeah,
very much like felt like System Shock when I was watching the announcement trailer, right? Like little pieces of
yeah.
cyberpunk thrown in there as well too.
I was asking about the Bungie sentiment because if somebody asked me how do you feel about Blizzard, I don't say, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." I think, Blizzard, like it's on the downslide. But
Oh,
Bungie's
okay.
still a good name.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
when it's one of those things where it's like, I think that they've made good moves over time. I have no problem with Destiny. I have no problem with any of the games that they've ever put out. Obviously, I think that
Okay.
there's a lot of people who have problems within the small problems, but I think overall, like the products that they put out are high quality, worthwhile your time, and they're putting a decent amount of cash behind all of these things as well too. But
Okay.
I credit anybody for trying to bring something new to the market at least, right? But especially in new IP, because we have a lot of the same stories these days, and it's difficult enough to, it's expensive enough to make a game, and we need to be really just trying to bring like newer stuff. So if you were gonna say like this is obviously very different than the old game that we were looking at. But if,
Right.
you got to base it off of something sometimes, so if they're just
Yeah.
using that as the basis. But there was all of these different, Cyberpunk has done really well. It's obviously sold big on the premise. System Shock and System Shock 2 are old school FPS games that people really love and admire. Those worlds, the Neuromancer style of worlds is a style that sells, works well with their customization model and selling customizations. I guess the newest Halo is not, it's not great. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I think I heard some meh when it came to
the
some
battle
of the
pass
news.
is like kind of shitty, and
Right.
I'm just kind of I got the enticement of a battle pass. If you're going to be playing that one game and that's all you're going to be playing, like that totally makes sense, and it really does like buy your time. It's like you invest money, so you're going to go play that game because you want to finish that battle pass track. But it always felt very grindy, Like I had to now play the game for the sake of playing the game, and I've spent money to do that, so I'm like double masochists. You know what I mean?
If like the game's fun enough, it hopefully wouldn't be the issue.
Yes, it should be fun enough, but I don't know why. But these things feel like that they become a barrier to fun. Like now they start making the thing feel like a job rather than feeling like I'm playing because I want to. It's because I invested money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it has like a completely like different feel to it.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't even. Oh, yeah, and I haven't even looked at any of this stuff at all. You know what I mean? So.
What do you mean, like the trailers?
No. Just like the other stuff, right? Like
Oh.
what I sent you over was everything that I was looking at, the announcements and
Yeah.
everything like that. Now, if you were gonna say, does this trailer grip me as an announcement trailer? I think it does. I think it's stylistically vibrant. It gives me little pieces about the world that's gonna happen. It kind of tells me what the gameplay is probably going to be. I'm intrigued by this scene,
Yeah.
because but it's never gonna look like that in game, right? Like that's a full on 3D render, but it gets me. I like this type of stuff, so I will want to know more.
Yeah, the world is pretty bold. This is a really striking scene.
Very
I'll definitely
striking.
give it. Yeah.
Feels like you're harvesting from somebody else as well too. So it's like everybody's kind of robotic and everything.
Yeah.
So you can get kind of like weird, gruesome in that world, like robots harvesting other robots for parts. Again, Cyberpunk did it as part of their game, and it's one of the coolest missions inside of the thing, right? And it's the first one. It's the opening mission where you start seeing all these players, like, or not players, but like bodies that have been chopped up for their mods and stuff like that, right? Like there's something visceral and gruesome about that, and I think that gets played out like right here, like as a call to action.
So how much time we have left for this call?
Dude, who knows?
Because we got 1, 2, 3. We got 7 videos to go through.
We're at 43 minutes. We're okay.
43?
Yeah,
all right,
we're good.
Next one. All right. Have you played Killing Floor 1 or 2?
Yes. So
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I played a lot of Killing Floor 1. I played a decent amount of Killing Floor 2 when it very first came out, and then they've changed it a whole bunch, right? This whole scene really hit on some viscerality.
Great, we're gonna get demonetized now.
This felt like what's the game? Quake 4, Quake 3, when your character gets strapped to a conveyor belt and basically put through this process of getting all of this cyberware implanted into it, and it felt very much like that.
So for some context for the people that haven't played, Killing Floor is a horde game co-op horde game, there's just hundreds and hundreds of zombies that are swarming you. This is actually really different. It's just showing what. Wow, that's very different. So yeah, Killing Floor is all about killing just hundreds of zombies. And in this trailer, it didn't even. I mean, it's an announcement trailer, but it didn't show what the series is known for. It just showed one boss. So that's kind of different.
Yeah, but it shows it off in this awesome way that the last game felt, or all of the games previously, right? Like even from the very start, just felt like, yes, we are putting you in an arena and we are throwing all of these characters, these crazy characters at you that we've only, you don't know why they're there. You don't know why they're being, where they're coming from. They're just there, right? Like that was the whole thing. It's just, yeah, there's some loose story. You can go read about it, whatever. This felt like that they had actually finally put it together, like made a reason for these things to exist and like where they're coming from and kind of like put that in really, front and center of like, look at all of these things. But this is like an old boss, kind of an old boss,
Yeah.
but they establish on it that like, hey, we've done whole new updates to the visual side of this thing. We're really upping the, hopefully, the brutality, the gruesomeness. There's a lot of games that they've been able to pull from inspiration on here. If you go back to the very first gameplay part, not this,
Oh, yeah.
right when
like
they,
here.
yeah. So we get this moment of Doom, right, where we're melee killing right up close this small little fodder character, this imp, and then we're getting into big bosses then after that. Killing Floor always had this like weird thing with money. You shot things, you gain money, and when you kill things, and then you went to a store and you bought all of your weapons, and you kept upgrading as the waves went on.
Almost Counter-Strike like.
Almost Counter-Strike like, but it never really felt like it made sense. Like it just never, the shop would always move, and it was kind of like some, like zombies from Call of Duty, right? Like it, but it just, it still was fun. It didn't matter. It still was fun. So
Yeah.
for me, this feels like a reinvention, a reimagination of their 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 title, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that they're able to hopefully put some money against this thing again,
Yeah.
and people find love for this title because I really liked it. Oh yeah, that's right. Headshots were so important. So important. Go to
I always
Killing Floor.
considered.
Go to Killing Floor 1 because I think it's
Oh,
so different.
I always considered killing. Oh wait. Sure. I always considered Killing Floor more of a indie game, especially Killing Floor 1 looks like this.
Yeah, back
Um,
here, like I feel like it was it. It
Oh.
felt like a mod for something.
Yeah. But now looking at Killing Floor 3, man, AAA graphics, it's come pretty far.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is, dude, just playing games with your friends is fun. You'd see like the Half-Life inspired, like Top Hood, right?
Yeah.
And it's just chaos. It's absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But the class-based system is brilliant. It's class-based FPS. Become a pyromancer, become a melee character, become a sharpshooter, be the healer. Like there's all this role-based stuff that's in here. I'm just happy for him. I'm excited to see the next installment, and I think it's definitely one that I'm gonna be picking up. Hopefully,
Was it 8-player or 16-player?
I think it was it was quite a few, especially when you were playing
Yeah.
like online. You could
Yeah.
you could get up
I
to
think it
some
was
big
bare
numbers.
minimum. Yeah. I feel like at least it was 8, man. I forget, but that's kind of different because a lot of these co-op games are 4-player.
Yeah. So I don't know about you. I think the trailer in the original, the Killing Floor 3 trailer grabs me a lot more than some of these other announcement trailers in general.
Yeah.
I think that it shows you some scale. I think it hypes some things up. It gives me a little bit of that brutality. This was a great intro to a boss. I think that's a pretty
Yeah. Look at those
scary
arms.
moment. Yeah, exactly. It's breaking through. There's a level of polish that I'm being told that is going to be in this game, and I think that they do sell me on that premise within this. And bold moves to do like the scary shit, at the start, you know,
Yeah.
kind of
That's
tell
true.
you straight up, like, yeah, like that's what we're doing. We're not shying away from it. This is gonna be brutal, and I appreciate that.
So this guy is a kind of an iconic boss, or yeah, with those arms.
Yeah.
And actually, Payday 3 also has an iconic boss too. But they only showed theirs in their trailer for like 2 or 3 seconds in the gameplay trailer. So
Hmm.
in Killing Floor, they definitely highlighted it a bit more.
Absolutely.
Here's Modern Warfare. I'm guessing we really only have time for like 2 more trailers.
All right. Well, I mean, we don't have to go into this one because this it just
Okay.
feels kind of just like Modern Warfare. I do want to get into the other stuff here though, because
Subliminal.
I think that this is big. We're looking at a big shift in graphics, especially for horror games, and
Get right to it.
no, for real. But like, you're totally right. Like that whole starting point feels skippable. We're a
Yeah.
minute in, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, okay, now we're here.
Yeah. And that's how people watch trailers. Oops. Hope that didn't break the stream. Okay.
Oh, that's fun.
Hopefully these graphics come through. It's gonna kill our connection. Let's see what happens.
We'll try it out. I mean, it's only rendering in
Well,
720p, so it's fine.
watch it yourself when you get around to
Yeah.
it. How many views does this have? Oh, 1.7 million views.
Oh, did that freeze?
I feel like if I hadn't seen the unrecord footage before this, I would be even more blown away. But yeah, we're reaching a true new era of graphics.
Yeah. But this is, if we're just talking about gameplay trailers, right? The best part of this is when you come out of the TV and it's just silently in this room.
Yeah.
I think you could have sold the entire game and gameplay off of just that part. I don't know why it does that whole bit at the start. I don't know why then when it goes through this other room that it all of a sudden then switches into something completely different as well too.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like I'm hyped at this moment, and then all of a sudden then I just get kind of like pulled out of it. And like there's a thing I would say in horror which is just like overselling your premise, like over explaining it a little bit too much. That
Yeah.
takes out the brevity, that takes out the weight of and impact of some of your moments and visuals. And
Yeah, this monster coming out, this is the only time you see it, and I think it was a good teaser, I guess. They didn't show it too much, at least.
I think if the hallway part had, if you had linked me from the bedroom or this into this hallway, and then showed me just that one little piece and just kind of cut it at that, I think I would have
Yeah.
been happy with like, dope. That looks awesome. Maybe then like
Okay.
maybe at one death thing and it puts me into that. I don't know. The long and short is I don't care what the actual video ends up being, but I feel like this is 3 trailers in one. To me.
Okay.
Personally.
Sure. To
But
me,
the
it doesn't
graphics
seem
are
like
cool.
yeah, I don't know. I think a trailer should at least show the different gameplay systems that you'll be interacting with. I now you're right. A horror game is a little different because there's a bit of mystery that you need to keep to it. So I could see that being different. quickly show this. By now, you guys have all probably seen this trailer, so
Or at least, yeah, a good portion of the development of this.
yeah, I mean, this has 9 million views. Body cam footage game, super realistic. Even the camera shake alone feels realistic.
Yeah, with the slight lean, the hands disconnected from the head, which I think is a genuine huge thing that we don't see in FPS games.
Yeah. The first time I saw this trailer, I thought it was just a film crew that was just making a mock trailer. I was like, I'm not interested in this mock stuff. Turns out it was actual game.
Yep.
So, as an FPS guy yourself, what are your thoughts on this game?
My thoughts are this is going to be game changing for the immersion side of it all, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Do you
this-
like immersion in your
Oh yeah,
FPS?
yeah, definitely. That's the whole point of like the first person camera, right? Is to really drive you into that individual and into that place. What I think is going to happen is that we're recording an early gameplay trailer of and trying to make it look as real as possible, so the person who is playing is also trying to play as a real character. But with any FPS game, people just play the game so differently that, you know what I mean? Like, we just run around the place once we get like kind of used to the controls. So I think that you're gonna see players play like how like Tarkov players, play right now, which is regular players will play slow and really cautious like this. But other than that, players are just going to be running and gunning and just fucking just popping heads like left, right, and center.
Sure.
But it's the graphics for me is the thing, and the way that they've set the camera and the position point, right? I think this is coming a lot from started a movement from like Outlast, if you remember the very first Outlast, and trying to put more of this head camera motion into the whole thing, and how well that can frame you. The fisheye lens is obviously something that's completely kind of brand new within this segment as well too, and I'm hoping that the viscerality of that keeps the player engaged, especially with this lighting engine that they're using in Unreal 5. But this all leads into the Gaussian stuff. And I don't know if this is necessarily something that's really going to come in.
It's a big deal because it's totally different from any existing graphics pipeline and is capable of rendering scenes that look like this.
Like, it's not going to come in this generation, or
it's not going to come in for a while, right? Like, we're not going to see games with this technique and stuff like that coming in, and a lot of times we don't ever see this stuff existing. And in the actual game world, this will probably be something that's featured more heavily in TV and film, with the ability for people to take a load of pictures, make a set out of all of that, stick it in the background of the blue screen, and then just make it really high performant that way.
Yeah.
But for games like the two that we were just watching, this is where this feels like we are now thinking along the lines of like, how do we improve games as a whole in the way that they look? Because for me personally, I think games right now, especially for like the last like 10 years, like every game like looks like a game. I don't know, is that stupid to say? Like, even when we try to do high fidelity, high graphics, it doesn't always turn out all that well. It still kind of looks like a game.
Yeah. The interesting part of that is I always say, like, oh, I don't care about graphics. These graphics keep getting better and better, and I don't really care. I will say that the games that are coming out like with this kind of tech do catch my eye in a way that I've never had before.
Absolutely. It feels completely new. And in doing so means new pipelines, new asset generation. Maybe it's more advantageous to actually go and build in full physicality your actual place, the place that you want to have your level, right? Go to there, take all of these photogrammetry pieces, take all of those pictures, grab all of the elements, and then put them into the world, into your actual, and let that drive and be your level, so that you can
Yeah.
get to these levels of immersion that we haven't been able to see before.
Right.
And I'm curious if this is gonna be like super available. You know, that's the thing, is that time will tell. Of like, but any sort of alternate thinking when it comes to how we visually represent games, I think is super wanted right now.
Yeah.
I think you could put something out into the market that looks completely unique, and because you made it look completely unique, you're gonna go and you're gonna have a hit, right? You're gonna have some sort of interest. That game that
And-
has the camera that you take a picture of, and then all of a sudden you can take it out and put it out into the 3D world, right? Superliminal, fucking, I had it in my head, now I can't even think about it anymore, but, you know, these games they have something different that they really are putting forward. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
And yeah, the way we always did it before was to kind of come up with a indie artsy style, because like you said, there's graphics limitations, but now there seems to be there's more innovation on the other end, which is like actual crazy graphics.
Yep. It's always going to be niche, but at the same time of it being niche, I'm super glad for it.
Cool.
All right, dude. Well, I mean, it's good to just like go over trailers and stuff like that today.
Yeah, yeah.
In your own opinion, like, what do you think is like your top core things that you need to show off in a reveal trailer? Not a gameplay trailer, but just a reveal trailer.
I think it needs to be similar to elevator pitch. It needs to be an elevator pitch is basically 2 sentences that intrigue the person to want to know more. So actually, out of those, I felt like Sand was the most interesting to me.
Damn.
Just because it hit me with a reveal that I hadn't seen. Killing Floor, even if I've never played Killing Floor before, I don't think I would have came off with anything other than, oh, there's a big zombie here.
Sure.
So not too intriguing. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think getting the point across, you need to have that one nugget that's going to drive home not what your
Yeah.
game is, but like the intrigue that is
Yeah.
going to go and carry you forward.
Worth sharing.
Yeah.
So if it's unique enough to worth share.
Share worthy moments is something I keep hearing about these days.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I'll talk to you later. I got to get back to work.
All right.
Enjoy
I
yourself.
gotta get back to playing Street Fighter.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Let's go later.